why waiting is the worst mistake that you can make in 2026. It's time to learn how to move at the speed of money. Let's get into it. But first, my favorite part of the show, bringing in the Zoom. Bringing in the Zoom. You know, we just, Here we go. Zoom is here. Here we go. Well, good morning, good evening, what to do? How are you? Hootie hoo. Happy Saturday too. I am the sound of money in your ear, doll Avant. That's still double O. I'm often imitated, never duplicated. They call me the $1 billion babe, aka the pitch queen, aka the people's coach, aka Coach Dollar Bill. And you are in the dollhouse. This is the home of the OGs. Over here, we're on a mission. Okay, it is day number 52 of this 100-day challenge. We're on a mission. I'm here to help you graduate from hustle to habits by giving you the exact playbooks that you need in order to shift your identity. Instead of acting like an employee, you're going to start acting like an entrepreneur, okay? You're going to be making some money for real. You're going to learn how to collapse time. You're going to learn how to build your business at the speed of money. And so when you are ready to normalize making $10, $20, $30,000 a month, every month, like this is what we do. It's normal. That's what we do in the dollhouse. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Those of you streaming, if you're watching the replay or whatever, you need to lean in with me. I have a free school community where I'm breaking down everything. There's so many things. And a lot of it is on there for free. So you can get in there and grab whatever you need. A new section is coming this weekend. It says start here. You can just literally get in there. I got this idea. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm all over the place. Whether you just started a business now, you're just leaving your job now, or whether you've been doing this for a long time and I don't know what to do. I don't know where money's coming from. I'm not sure. Either way, I got you. So join the school community. Look for the link if you're not in there. I call it the Dollhouse 2.0. That's where I'm breaking it all the way down. I'm basically taking my mind, my whole brain, and I'm putting it in digitized form. Because everything I've ever learned about how to make money, how to build a business, I've been in the rooms, okay? I'm not just talking about, get you a little hustle, get you a little $27 digital product. Although you can be doing that too. If you sell 38 times 27 a day, that's $1,000 a day, right? And all I'm saying is, can we get to the place where you make $300 a day? Because that'll put you on track to, like $10,000 a month. So we could be all right. How about that? Hey, Tracy, go ahead.
Yeah, I love this because you're not speaking about you know where we are, because this is not like one of those places where you're like, okay, make 1,000. You're realizing we're not even at $300 a day, because that's the truth. I'm not there. So, and I love that you're building this in real time with us. I have a question when you get a chance about school, like the school that
let's go for it. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, that's what I see you using school. I love it. I love the name. I love the logo. It looks great. What, and you mentioned that it's $9. What is it that we should be using school for? And is school a replacement for WhatsApp or in addition to?
School is a place to host community and have your online, teaching, if you have curriculum or guidebooks or different things that you want people to be able to purchase. And this is a great question because people ask, they're like, well, what about this versus Gumroad versus that? I'm specifically saying, and I recommend school specifically because it has features built into it. First of all, it was built by one of my mentors, but he's one of these people who literally are making hundreds of millions of dollars online, but unlike most people, he's actually telling you step by step how he does it. We've read a couple of his books already in the unofficial book club. And so $100 million offers, and his new one just came out, $100 million models. Like, for real. He's just teaching. He has no reason to do that. He made all his money doing a whole other business, kind of like me. And now he's over here just teach people how to win in these social media streets, if you will. And I personally appreciate that because, again, I might still do the t-shirt line just for nostalgia purposes, but when I say I hate social media, like why? Like, why do I need to be online doing anything in front of anybody? What are you talking about? And I realized, like I said the other day, like all of my mentors, all of them, including the Black women who are out here winning, making 10, 8 figures, 9 figures, literally in technology. And all of them have YouTube channels, all of them. And I'm like, what is it? And they're like, we like money. What you mean? It's free money. Like, why would you not be on? So, like, what are we doing? So unless you and all of your family, all your relatives, all of them are wealthy, generationally, Walton family wealthy, you need to be on social media. You get this money. If you don't need it, oh, I'm so rich. I'm so wealthy. Oh, are you? Well, take that money and go buy you some XRP. It's some gold and sit down. How about that? How about we get some land and buy some islands for good people to have somewhere to go when they destroy the rest of America? You know what I mean? Like if you just got so much money that you don't need social media, do it for somebody else. Learn this skill and teach to somebody else. So anyway, um, so it's built by somebody who actually builds community online. So unlike like a Gumroad or like a Shopify or some of these other places where you can also sell like digital products and stuff like that, it um, is designed to allow you to host community. So it has little tools in there like notes and ways that people can have a chat and discussion going back and forth. It's designed to build community. The other reason why specifically I'm saying school, in addition to the very low, they have only 2 price tiers, and that's pretty low. But the other reason is because you can go live on there, which is cool. But the other reason is because it actually works in terms of recommending you to random other people who are using the platform. So it's the closest online platform that's designed to host your content, like membership content or whatever, but also helping you find people organically on the platform. So that's why I mentioned school.
I think that's what I'm gonna do is start doing school. I love the name. The name itself is like, I'm gonna school you. It's very urban. I'm guessing you're saying it's a Black person that created
No,
it.
no.
No.
Don't be
Okay.
fooled.
Okay.
Everybody I
Okay.
know who's except when I say Black, when they're Black, I say Black.
Okay.
But most
Okay. But
people
I
who are
love the
winning
name.
out here are they're white
It
people.
gives me the Google vibe because of the color. There's a lot about aesthetics, feng shui. The look of something is really important. And I don't know, this school app, I don't know, it speaks to me. And then, of course, you're on it. That also gives it the
Yeah.
ability that I need. So, yeah. But is it a replacement for WhatsApp or is it in addition
Thank
to?
you. Good question. And also, let me answer the question you said first. It is not necessarily a replacement. It depends on what you're using WhatsApp for. So WhatsApp, Facebook groups, just kind of a bunch of text messages in your phone. Depending on how engaged you are with an email list that you might have thousands of people on there, but you don't really talk to them. Like, it can be a replacement for WhatsApp if you're using it as a way to kind of host community. And if people are used to or get used to going in there checking for messages, because you can put a post and they'll get a notification and stuff like that. So in some ways it might be better than WhatsApp because some people just don't like WhatsApp and the constant pinging on their phone. So it can be. It is a way to kind of just organically host community and have a back and forth kind of conversation going on, and it feels a little bit less invasive or personal for some people than a WhatsApp chat.
Okay, I love that. And thank you for taking the time to answer this question. I wasn't sure if today was the right day for this, but it is something that's on my mind because I do want to get into school. Do you find that people want to move in? You're right about WhatsApp. Not everybody's into WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is heavy on the phone. It's like, I don't know if the app itself takes a lot of bandwidth to be on one's phone. So I wanted to know and then of course there's a lot of scams on WhatsApp. That's another reason, that people don't like WhatsApp. But I wanted to know, do you find it convenient or easy to bring people to school?
Well, that's an interesting question. For me, I think it's a little bit different. The only reason I'm on WhatsApp is because I was moving to Europe, and like all of my friends from all of my cohorts that are outside of the country, we're all on WhatsApp. Obviously, in Africa and all over the place, we're on WhatsApp. And then when I came back, because they asked me to start teaching again in the place that should not be named, for whatever reason, there was already a big WhatsApp group going. It was like 300-400 people in there, and they asked me to come teach over there. And then I realized the principles, I don't align with some of these principles. So then I started a WhatsApp, like, if y'all want to come over here, because I'm not doing that anymore. So that's kind of how I even got on WhatsApp. I can't say that it's good or bad. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because, again, I don't use it other than for the dollhouse. But I like it. If as a coach, I like it. Like, the people who are locked in with me as a coach and I'm your coach, it's cool because you can just send me a voice memo and da 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 da, and then I can send you back and blah 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 blah. I actually think that's cool. But this is not something that I would scale. Like, I'm not going to be standing on stages and putting my QR code so you can get on my WhatsApp because now you're in my phone, and that's like crazy work. But a school allows me, and Substack would be the other option to consider. That allows you to have this sense of community and communication, and you're back and forth. They have all these chat features inside of Substack as well. So you can have like a real conversation with your audience, and go live and have videos and audio podcasts, whatever, all inside the platform. So I do think that school and Substack, matter of fact, that's really what I'm teaching inside of the social media mastery mastered. This is the biggest data dump I've ever done in my life. I'm teaching exactly how to put it all together, like my recommended how to plug it in, and use all these different tools to host community. But migrating people, I think they do that at their own time, their own pace. It just depends on what they're looking for. And that's the reason why I'm doing the Gary Vee approach, meaning being everywhere on social media so that people can choose. Some people like to read, some people like podcasts, some people like to watch YouTube long form, some people like short and quick. And people are upset with me because I'm not really doing a whole lot on Instagram other than when I go live. It is coming. It's coming. Matter of fact, that's the story I want to talk about today. I woke up this morning. My godmother, my Japanese godmother, is turning 80. We have a party for her today. So all my godbrothers, everybody coming. Okay, yay! And they get to meet my fiance and all this stuff. Okay, cool. But I gotta do this and do that and what I was already working on. And some people coming from out of town, it's a lot going on. So I woke up this morning, but I had an idea. I was like, you know what? Based on, because I'm doing all the videos for the social media mastery. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and knock out all my Instagram. I've been thinking about how I want to show up. I've been studying my little formats and stuff. So I'm like, let me just get it done. And I would like you to know that I couldn't find a tool. I searched all over, couldn't find a tool that could just take, how I teach the 5-star pitch and how I teach, let's get your positioning statement, your core statement, like the stuff we worked on last week. What's your worldview and your identity statement and what do you believe and all of that? And just give me a really quick statement of what you do and who you serve. And then take this, based on this, now go and give me all my content. Couldn't find a tool. So guess what I did this morning? Literally, I had this idea at 10 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, it was done. I built it. It is a custom GPT. A free, well, I can make it free if I want to, but it's an AI-powered brand coach, basically. Because I'm not a coder. I mean, I guess that's technically not true. I am a technologist and I have written algorithms, but like I'm not finna sit here and try to figure that out. I don't have no team. I'm not paying nobody. No, I had an idea. I moved on it. So the tool talks to you. What it does is it asks you these questions that I've been teaching you guys that really matter, because clarity is what starts the whole domino effect. You get the clarity, now you have confidence. When you have that real confidence, you'll be present in the moment. You're going to have real connections with people. It's going to make them stop. Now there's a moment for energy to be exchanged. And then that connection is the birthplace of all currency. So going from clarity to currency, I have now built a custom GPT that does that. And I was just like, what? Because I mean, all of the structure, all the framework, all the tools, stuff that I'm teaching inside the social media mastery, like how do I know if my content is going to be any good? How do I know how to structure my video format, or if I'm doing LinkedIn posts or whatever, if I'm doing a podcast, if it's long or short form, there's certain rules. It's encoded. If you put this in there, people are going to stop, people are going to watch, people are going to engage, and most importantly, people are going to share, because all the algorithms have been updated for all the platforms now. They push your content to more people, significantly more people, when people share your post. So liking, of course, watching, obviously, commenting, great, but sharing is such an underestimated, the power of what happens when people begin to share or remix or reference, your content. So what if you had a way to train your GPT of choice, your bougie GPT, to Take your story, your clarity statement about who you are and who you serve and why it matters and all the things, your elevator pitch, okay? And come up with an entire brand voice that reflects that and speaks directly to your audience and all their problem language and all this stuff that I keep telling you guys to go out and gather. Train the GPT on that. Then train the GPT on how to do hooks that are compelling so people stop scrolling, make people engage. If it's a long form, you got to change it up every 2-3 minutes. Like there's rules to this. There's rules to it. The guys who are winning in this social media game, there's certain rules for every platform: LinkedIn, Substack, Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, as well as your email newsletter, podcast, public speaking. Teaching it how to do all of that. Here's the rules. Here's how it needs to go. I got 365 prompts, content prompts. Put all that in there and said, ready, go. And it made all my content for like the rest of the year. And I built all this from scratch myself in 2 hours this morning. So listen, it asks you questions. What problem have you been paying attention to your whole life? What do you believe about how the world should be? Who already trusts you enough to tell you more and let you into their world? Because this is following the roadmap. Like it's all in there. And then it mirrors your exact words back to you. Not like cleaned up, professional, corporate. I told y'all stop talking all corporate and be smart. It's messing with your money. It takes your words and helps you build these 3 things that, like I keep saying, we can't go forward without this foundation. And I hope we're day 52 of this 100-day challenge. I hope everybody in here has this. I say your 5-star pitch, but I had to break it down even further because I'm like, nobody's doing a 5-star pitch. What's the problem? It's too big. So we had to break it down. Break it down. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So I had to break it down even further. So a clear I help statement. I help who to do what so that why? This tool will help you get there. A personal identity statement. As someone who's experienced and gone through this, and this, I believe this about the world. And that's why I help people. And then a belief statement that gives your audience something to stand for alongside you. Right? I believe we all have a right to know what's in the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink. I believe that humans should not be the censors alerting us to water quality problems. I believe that as we cutting budgets and doing all of this, we shouldn't be cutting clean water regulations. But nobody's paying attention, so that's where we come in. Do you have statements that are very, very clear about why your work matters, who it's for, so that people have something to stand for and believe in? A narrative that you wrap around your product, service, or solution. Then the tool takes all 3 of those things and weaves it into a single like elevator pitch, like a paragraph that you could say on a stage, something you could send to somebody if you were sending a DM like on LinkedIn or whatever, starting a conversation, a caption, something that can now live on your website, something that you stand on. This is who I am for it. Your little bio, little blurb, when you start writing little articles and at the bottom you have a blurb about who you are, boom, that's what you say. Then it takes all that clarity, because we know with clarity without a content strategy, if you're not out here talking to humans, if you don't have a giving and receiving feedback loop, which is why these platforms, like whether it's School or Substack or whatever you're using, are so important, because it's not just putting content out to the void. You have to be able to hear what people are saying back to you. You want people to engage with you and hear what they have to say. But clarity without that content is just like, something pretty. It's just something nice, but it's not going to change your business. So I told the tool to use everything it just learned about you from that statement. And now it's going to create content that stops the scroll. Hooks on blast, platform specific content, and that actually sounds like you. Not ChatGPT, because I hate ChatGPT, as y'all know, but they're all the same. You just got to train them. Shout out to Claire. So it doesn't sound like everybody else in your space. It doesn't sound all generic. It sounds like you. And so I said, when I started this process this morning, I had no idea that I was going to do this. I said, I'm tired of seeing all these brilliant entrepreneurs. They stuck in their heads. They're talking about they're not making no money. Oh, I don't want to do. And because they're stuck in their head, so their income is stuck too. But now I have a tool that does all this talking that I'm doing right now. It just do it for free. So what does that do? That allows me to scale exponentially. That allows me to now focus on, let me take all of my 150 pieces of content that it just created for me this morning while I was, making French toast pancakes. And then I come back and my whole year of content is done for Instagram. So now I don't have to think about that part. I can go and focus on something else. You know what I'm saying? So it was built in 2 hours, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, not talking about it, 2 hours. And it wouldn't have taken that long. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I have no skill, none. And why am I telling this story? Because today I want to talk about the most dangerous thing that you can do in your business right now, especially in the year of our Lord, 2026. The most dangerous thing that you can do is wait. You have an idea, something comes into your head, you're like, I should do that. And then you wait. It's very dangerous. We got to cut it out. So we're going to talk about the physics of waiting. It's not neutral. Okay. When you wait, you're still creating something. Talk about the neuroscience of what happens when you stop your forward motion and all of the consequences that come from that. And then we're going to talk about how to speed up. Let's move at the speed of money and all these tools and platforms. That's why I keep saying, in addition to the fact that the global financial system is being reset. So there's a whole class of assets that are about to go through the roof. And if you get in on the front end of that, you're gonna be fine. You don't have any problems. But in addition to that, all these tools have never before existed in the history of ever. Like what I just said to you is supposed to take, 6 months, a year, and a team, and a whole bunch of people, and a whole bunch of money, or somebody sitting there and coding for hours and months or whatever. Done. It's done. Like I literally was like, ooh, so how do I? And it was like, this is how you. So now it's live. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, hold on. Well, I needed to, after that, can it do this? They're like, well, yeah, you should do it this way. Gave me full instructions. If I had nothing else to do today, it would already be online for sale. I would have already started posting about it and sending people to the page and do a little webinar and do a little some content and boom, boom, boom. Like this is the speed of money. We can literally move at the speed of money. We all have access to these tools. So the question is, why aren't we moving? There's something going on internally because there's no lack of opportunity out here. So let's talk about it. We got to get it together. Hesitation, we got to turn it into movement so we can start building at the speed of money. Now, I'm not playing with this word waiting, because waiting is kind of like hope, RIP Jesse Jackson. But I taught a whole class like, no, talking about keep hope alive. Nope, we're having a funeral for hope. We're not doing it. We're not just going to sit because it feels like you're doing something, just like waiting. It feels productive. It feels like positive or something. It feels like, well, I'm believing. It feels like you're holding space for your vision or whatever. It feels like you're being patient or strategic or wise, or, if I just hold my peace, and all this kind of stuff that we learn from church or whatever. Okay. But it violates universal law. Okay. Newton's first law of motion. Waiting is not neutral. It's not a pause button. It is a commitment to your current trajectory. Meaning, if you're not moving towards your goal, that means you're locked into the version of reality that's moving away from it, that's not achieving your goal. When you wait, this is not a pause button. I know I say it's a video game all the time, but it is not like a pause button. Like, I'll come back to that. Nothing happens. No. When you're waiting, sitting on ideas, not moving, not putting any structure to it. I got this idea, but then it just floated out of my head. I got this idea, but I don't even take the time to write it down. Or I have all these notes and all these journals and all these sketches and all these things in my phone and all over the place. There's no order. There's no structure. Did y'all know the word vision has to do with order? So either you're going to build some order and some structure around these ideas that come. Where do ideas come from? Or you're going to allow chaos to ensue. And chaos is a destructive force. When you don't have structure, you don't have the momentum, you don't have a place to anchor these ideas, It's just chaotic. And I'm not going to call nobody's name or ask nobody to turn on the camera in your house. But I will say, if you got a bunch of mess all around your house, all in your bedroom, all in the closet, you just close the door and there's just junk everywhere, energetically. If you go in your bag and you go in your purse or your book bag or the place that you work and it's just clutter everywhere, what that represents is unfinished energy. It's just things that you said, oh, I'm gonna get back to it. Oh, I'm gonna come back and do this. Oh, I gotta worry about this. And it's never getting done. It's never moving. The energy, there's no structure. There's no order. Order comes before increase. So if you want more money in your bank account, it matters that your mind, that your physical space, that your relationships and the way you spend your time and all these things are in order. So likewise, if you have an idea, but it constantly gets stuck, the energy constantly gets stuck and blocked, it's not flowing. First of all, you're not going to get to any cash flow because it's energetic, but also understand that when you wait or you delay, you're locking in, you're doubling down on your current state. And if the current state is not something that you want to experience, it's not where you want to be, it means you're moving in the opposite direction from where you want to be. So waiting is not a neutral state. Okay. If you find yourself thinking about, oh, I'm just believing, I saw the cutest meme ever on Instagram this morning, and I can't send it to nobody because fundamentally I don't believe in that. It was like a gospel song, and it's like, I don't know how he's gonna do it, but he's gonna do it. But it was like one of the little AI babies, cutest. That was the best one I ever seen. So cute. But no. We're not waiting on something external to happen to us, waiting on somebody to fund us, waiting on somebody to send a check, waiting on, the partnership to manifest. I'm holding the vision for my company to come through. Like, where is it coming from? Waiting for the right moment, waiting till you feel ready, all these kinds of things. People genuinely think that that's a positive state. We've been programmed to believe that that's a positive thing. We're reading books, I did my rant about vision boards, all these things, putting it out there because we think that belief is enough. But that shows that you actually don't believe, because if you believed, you would be moving differently. I'm telling you, it's not real belief if it doesn't lead to intentional action. So that Newton's first law that I'm always talking about, that inertia. The law states an object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion unless it's acted upon by an outside force. So if you're waiting and not moving, intuition is pew, and you're right here. That's why I do that at the end. If y'all didn't know that, that's the sound of intuition. I'm gone. That's the speed of money. We out. Got stuff to do. If you're not moving at the speed of those thoughts, if you don't have anywhere to put that energy and it can't anchor itself in your 3D, it's not a neutral state. That means that you're creating more chaos, more confusion, more, I don't know. Your brain, your intuition, and everything, your imagination doesn't know where anything goes. So it's just going to be more chaos, more disjointed. Oh, I met this person. Oh, I forgot all about it. Oh, I said I was going to do this. I didn't even follow up with them. Oh, this happened and da 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 da. Oh, I had an opportunity. I could have. Da, da, da. So you're getting these seeds and they're just falling to the ground. What was that? Stony ground and all the other grounds. The birds came and ate it and all that kind of stuff. That's you. That's you. Okay. So it's like abundance comes from the unseen place where your ideas come from, but it's not rooted in anything in your current reality. So you're not going to see the fruit of it because it's not being planted. Okay. That's what I'm trying to communicate. You have to think about the fact that this applies to your business, your momentum, your life, your relationships, whatever you got going on. When you're waiting, that's like being an object at rest. That means, yes, we want more of this, please. More of my current reality. More of that, please. That's what you're ordering from the universal menu of options. Okay. And it's not linear. It's exponential. If you haven't made a sales call and you skip a week and I know I'm supposed to do this, but I was just tired. Oh, I couldn't do it. Oh, da, da, da. That becomes 2 weeks. It becomes 4 weeks. Oh, I know I'm supposed to be, filling out this thing. Did y'all know? I had to go back and find, this is a scientific study, but the goal to set for yourself, or the number of people that you want to be familiar with you. Like if you were to get into public speaking, what's this music? I don't know what this is, y'all. I have no idea what that is. Okay, if you were to get into public speaking or start to get in front of rooms and stuff like that, and share your message because you have clarity around what you do. If you were to do all of that, the goal would be for you to get in front of about 250 people, whether that's over a couple of series of 3 or 4 events. Um, this is a magic number when it comes to being able to start to predict money. When you have enough people who actually know who you are and what you got going on, they, I gotta follow this music. I don't know what that is. Who is singing? Is it me? What is that? Anyway, 250. So think about it this way: if you have one conversation a day, no, let me do the math. 300. So you had 5 conversations a day. I know how I keep saying get your circle of 50, your circle of trust, and invite them into conversations and activate that circle every single day. If you talk to 5 people a day, like, that sounds aggressive, and that's what I thought. That's what I'm talking about. If you were to talk to 5 people a day about what you do, go through the Afro method, what you got going on, what they got going on, this is my net, this is your net, our nets work together. This is real networking. Okay? Maybe you met them at an event, but now you might do two-person conversation and all of that. They got going on. Maybe there's opportunity for you to come do something, motivation, meet more people, more people, more people, more people, more people, what you do. Okay, that's the end. And if you did that 5 people a day, that would be 25 people a week. If you did that for a whole quarter, you would have talked to about 300 people, which is more in 12 weeks than most entrepreneurs will actually talk to in a whole year. So by the end of the year, you would have talked to 1,000 or 1,200 people if you were really aggressive about it. They know you, they know your brand, they know what you stand for. And you're inviting them to your email newsletter. You're inviting them to follow you on Instagram. You're inviting them to, if you went hard, listen, I'm talking about people who have hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube or doing the thing on Substack in the top 5% of this, top 5% of that, on all these platforms. Every single one of them says the same thing. They say, if you go hard, 6 months, even right now, even people think YouTube is saturated, it's not. Go hard on that platform for 6 months, following the structure and the things that are proven to work. You will be at the top 2% of this game, whether it's media, whether that's in your industry, your field. People will know who you are, what you stand for, and they will be telling your narrative to other people. You'll be on level 3. And other people will be telling your story for you. Your phone will start reading it. So the problem with with waiting is like you're waiting on, man, I wish I had, this partnership, this platform, this program, or this, you know, uh, whatever, something external to happen to you to make you feel like the version of you that you want to be. And the reality is that it doesn't happen that way. You have to start the engine. You have to be outside doing these things to get the momentum going. Because if you wait, you're creating the opposite. So that was my point. If you go 6 days, become 2 weeks, become 6 weeks, become 6 months, and you haven't made a sales call, you haven't practiced your pitch, you don't know what you're talking about, you still don't feel any more comfortable now than you did before. We'll talk about what you do. I I'm like, what in the world? You don't feel any more comfortable now talking about your work than you did 3 weeks ago or since the beginning of this 100-day challenge. You know what I'm saying? This is inertia. So it actually compounds though. So you actually will be even less comfortable trying to get yourself going and get yourself started doing this new thing than you were, you know, say 6 months ago, say at the beginning of the 100-day challenge. It's only been 52 days in this year, and most people are already so far off of the okay, here we go energy of the new year, even though it's not the new year. Like they don't even recognize themselves. It's gonna take them a whole to December next year to try to get back in the energy of okay, I can do something different. I can change my life. They already have settled back into inertia. Go ahead, Tracy.
Inertia, one of my most favorite words. And I don't know what frequency I had to be in to get into this dollhouse, but to be taught by a Gemini has to be a dream come true because I can only believe you because you're a Gemini. And I know the struggles you face with organizing and having these creative bursts of so much energy. Like you said, you're like a fire hose. And to see you centered, it just, yeah, it means a lot. And you're right. I knew this day was coming. Yesterday, I think yesterday, the day before, you were talking about us talking to 5 people a day, 5 people a week. And I was like, Doll is headed somewhere again because she's going to realize those numbers are off. I know she wants us talking to more people. And I had this conversation right here. I knew you were about to like this, you were going to let the truth out because I know you were kind of coddling us, saying 5 people a week. I know you didn't really mean it. And you're right. This getting ready to get ready thing that we're doing is procrastination because the last couple of months I've been saying, okay, I'm going to talk to people now. It's on my schedule. It's on my calendar. I'm going to talk to people tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes another day and it keeps not happening. And you're absolutely right. I'm not becoming more at ease. I'm actually becoming more scared. And it's not even that I'm scared. It's just I keep putting more excuses. Let me get the pitch down. Let me call it the right time. Doll is on at 2, or I need to do this, or this is just like speaking to a human. I'm calling some leads. And I'm realizing that, today I'm eavesdropping on people at the gym. I'm like, ooh, they're talking about, mental issues. I feel like I'm talking to a human, but they ain't even talking to me. I'm just listening to women in the locker. So I'm pulling on low hanging fruit. So I'm realizing there's integrity that is not being kept with myself. And you're right. This is not becoming easier. It's becoming like in my mind, I'm making it more of a thing now.
Your neural pathways will atrophy. It kind of erodes your confidence. You'll start having a little bit even, more resistance than you did when you first were saying you were going to do this. Sometimes your network goes cold. People that you met and, a few weeks have gone by, months have gone by, then it's like, now you want to call them back. It's like, wait, maybe you were working on your pitch for a little while and you got really good at it, but then it's like, oh life is happening or whatever's going on. Your skills get dull. All right. So now the gap between where you are and where you want to be is actually getting bigger. So there's no such thing as waiting in neutral. You're either spiraling up or spiraling down. You're either going forward or you're in reverse. There's no neutral. That's the only thing about this vehicle that is our business. There's no neutral. So it compounds, y'all. So week 1, we had a good meeting. Somebody, I'm going to invest in your company as soon as I get back from, the island or whatever. And, a week becomes 2 weeks, becomes 4 weeks, and you don't hear from them, but you're just waiting around before you make your next move. It feels strategic, but it's not. So week 1 goes by, week 2 goes by, you're still waiting. You fill that time with research, planning, and just doing things to make yourself feel better and just kind of floating around and, pretending like you're cleaning up the house when you're really not, refining your pitch deck that you're never going to send to anybody anyway, or whatever, but it feels productive. The 4th week goes by, the investors are, oh yeah, no, actually, this contract, we got to do something, got to take another turn. So now you didn't get the client, you didn't get the investor, whatever it is that you were waiting 4 weeks for. So now you feel demoralized. And now you're like, okay, I got to regroup. So now you got to go make yourself feel better again. So you got to take another 2 weeks off and do the thing. And now you're like waiting for the next opportunity that you can be excited about, something that's external to you. And it feels like you're being resilient, but no. So you keep doing this. So now it's almost been 3 months. Like we're about to be in March right now. You've been waiting for something external to happen to you for so long that taking any kind of action really starts to feel overwhelming. So you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, your confidence is shot. Feels like I'm just not ready. I gotta get ready. Okay. So about 6 months of this, and some of us have been in business for longer than that. So we've all maybe experienced seasons of this where it's like you're talking about your idea, but you've stopped really working on it. You're still waiting for the right time. Feels like you're being patient and all of that. Now it's like 8 months, 9 months, a year. Wait a minute, I'm not really making anybody for real. You know what I'm saying? But then for the next couple of years, you keep saying that you got this company, or after a while, it's going to become, I almost started this company. It's going to feel like a story, just like a season of your life where you were kind of floating around. That's what happens when you allow inertia and waiting to become the default setting in your business. And the more you do that, the longer you don't move on your biggest ideas, the harder it's going to become to move, and the less likely that you're ever going to move. Stagnation creates decay. Stagnation creates decay. I had a quote about motion versus stagnation that I wrote down. You know how I always say that rich people trust their vision and doubt their fear. That means they move fast. Poor or poverty-minded people, they doubt their vision, they trust their fear, so they stay in the current circumstances, which means they create more of that. Stagnation creates decay. You guys, we're responsible. Literally everything is possible to us, but we have to make the shift. It's up to us. There is no separation between us and source. None. Go ahead, Tracy.
There's a lot of aha moments coming up. One is when I used to run track, I remember I was practicing to do hurdles and I fell once. And then that whole track, like the practice, I was practicing to jump over the hurdle. And every time I got to it, I stopped and I walked back, stop and walk back. I did that the whole practice. And I never, ever actually went back to hurdles because I created so much fear and anxiety that I always got to that point and never did. And another epiphany that just came to me, then we talk to people, like people in our families that don't really think we can do this because they've never done this. But the thing is, we think they're holding us back. But there's a reason why we keep talking to those same people that we know are going to re-edify our fears. Because like you said, wealthy people trust their vision, doubt their fears. But because we trust our fears, we keep going back to those people that are going to edify our fears. And then we think they're doing something to us, but we could have easily spoken to somebody else, but we chose them for a reason. So yeah, this is all making sense now.
Yes, guys, it's up to us. It's going to be, it's up to me. So I learned a story. Two of my friends actually worked with Prince personally. He was a good guy. I can't say the word. He was a real one, for real. And anyway, he tells a story. I want to say it's a Larry King interview or something, but he told the story about why he wrote the song 1999. And he was talking about how, like, his band, they were all talking about, I don't know what it was at the time in the 80s, whatever was going on. And people were like, oh my God, it's terrible out here. It's so bad. And people were like, I mean, what do we do? It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And he said, I thought about the way they were talking about it, and it was like you have two options. You can either just kind of fall into the chaos and the despair of it all. He said, or obviously the song is like, we just gonna party because the world is ending or whatever, which I love that song. But, with his high intellect, what he actually said was, he said, because the world is declining. I mean, he said, this is a system based on entropy. And then he just kept talking. And I'm like, who talks like this? Like, nobody talks like this. So do y'all know what entropy means? Let's talk about that. It's kind of like inertia. It's the measure of the disorder of a system. Okay, so you're either order or disorder. You're either moving forward or you're spiraling down. Entropy has to do with the gradual decline due to a lack of order, a lack of predictability. There's a gradual decline into disorder or chaos, the destructive force. So when you're in motion, when you move towards your goal, your objective, the endpoint, the place, the destination that you put in the GPS, that your internal intuition is your internal GPS. You're either moving in motion towards that, and by moving towards that, motion creates order. Okay. And order comes before increase. So there will be order. You're going to do this like this. I'm going to do this like this. You're going to find patterns. You're going to set a new frequency. And then all of that vague, abstract energy is going to settle in. And instead of being a wave of potential, it's going to come into a particle. This place, this time, location, order, time, money, boom. Now it's real. That's what motion does. Motion gives you data points so you can see, okay, I know exactly, okay, this is what I need to do. Bah, 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 bah. And the more you move that way, the more you're going to know what to do. When you start, you don't know, but then you don't know until you go. Okay. Versus inertia, which we think, oh, waiting, we've glorified it and we made a whole religion about it and vision boards and bay leaves and shake your hand 3 times, all this kind of stuff. It's not real. You're going backwards. So you have the opposite of motion is stagnation or entropy. And that is stagnation creates entropy. So motion creates order. Stagnation creates entropy. Entropy means a lack of order or predictability, which leads to a gradual decline into disorder, decay, and destruction. Okay. Now, these are science words. This is physics. I am telling you that if you're not moving forward with intention, locked in, minding your tea and grits, what is that? Thoughts, emotions, actions. Because don't tell me what you believe. I'm looking at your actions. Tell me what you believe. All you want to. I'm looking at your calendar. What are you doing with your time? That's what you believe. Because that's how you're showing up in the world. So thoughts, emotions, actions. Then giving, receiving, intention. So there's a feedback loop. I'm talking to humans, but I'm intentional about which humans. Where am I showing up? How am I stretching myself? What places, what rooms am I in? How am I making sure that I'm talking to enough people and doing what I need to do? T is for time. That's our schedule. That's our elephant diet. And then S is for the state of our nervous system, the T and grits. If you're minding your T and grits and you're focused on an end game, that motion is going to lead to order. Order is going to lead to increase, abundance, all the things we say we want. Or stagnation, which is the opposite of motion. That inertia is going to lead to entropy. Entropy is a lack of order. There's no predictability. There's no structure. There's no cadence. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're going to be in any given day and moment. You're all over the place. And all of this, there's no structure. There's going to be a gradual decline into disorder. So as entrepreneurs, we have to take, that was the quote I was looking for. As entrepreneurs, we have to take responsibility for this forward motion. There's only 2 gears. We got to shift the gear. Either we're going forward, we're headed towards the destination, intuition speaking, we're moving. That's our internal guidance system telling us how to get to that destination. Or if we're just floating out here, that means we're going backwards or a downward spiral, going in reverse, headed towards disorder. Something's going to break. Because why? You're not attached to a system. We're not living off the land. It's not like you're just outside with fruit trees everywhere and everything you need is provided for you by nature. We were taken off of that system, right? You don't have a job, so you don't have that system taking care of you. You might have a little government check or something, but it's probably not enough. And who knows how long that's going to last, the way they're playing in our face. So you can't trust that system. You don't have, your spouse or, your parents or somebody who are paying, the bills because they're on a system. So we're just out here floating with no system, no structure, we're in trouble. And so what we have to do is stop normalizing that and stop feeling like it's okay and just going to like things that are entertaining, things that are entrepreneurship adjacent, and thinking that that's enough to cover up for the fact that we're not actually making intentional moves in the direction of what we're supposed to be building every day. Like, we got to get to the point where it's not optional. Stagnation creates decay. Okay. So you know how, like, if water stops moving, stops flowing, it has to be a flow. If you just get water and it doesn't move anywhere, it stagnates, it starts breeding bacteria, becomes toxic. You know what happens to your body if you don't move your body? They call it atrophy. You lose physical, actual muscle. Your bone density decreases. Your cardiovascular system weakens, right? We gotta learn how to move the other way. Instead of just sitting and letting things decay around us, intentional motion creates order. We see patterns. We see opportunities that we couldn't see before. Our phone rings differently. People start to know and trust us. Trust just means I can predict what she's gonna do. I know she's always here every Sunday morning without fail. I can set my clock by it. She's gonna be here. So now people start to readjust themselves around you because they know what to expect from you. So how you show up in your social media, the messaging that you send, there's a clarity there. There's a consistency there. Now they have confidence. When I use that word confidence instead of brand, because confidence means somebody else, they know every time they work with you, every time they look for you, you're going to be there. They're getting consistent value. It's not going to be just a bunch of you and your personal life, your personal story, your personal this. You just talking about all you've been through and everything that I didn't come here for that. So if every time I work with you, I got to spend 37 minutes listening to everything you got going on before I can get the value that I came here for, it's going to make me not want to come back. Like we have to stop thinking about our business and the people that we're engaging as ways to just like talk about what we're going through. That's what friends are for. If you don't have no friends, let's go within. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean, like, I went through seasons of my life where I just wasn't talking to nobody. I mean, of course, you got two or three people that's gonna rock with you forever, but everybody's not ready for this elevation. Everybody's not able to handle where you're headed. And you have to be okay sometimes being by yourself. You have to be okay sometimes being in the cocoon. You can't talk to everybody on this journey. And that's okay. But because you don't want to turn it into something where you're just constantly pouring personal, because that's not what I came here for. It's messing with your money. It's messing with your money. So you need to just eradicate this idea of waiting and chilling and hoping. And resting is something that we should be doing all the time. That should be as a part of your daily balance, your daily cycle. Yes, you should be resting. But these big, long, extended periods of time where you just got to be careful, because if you're not at a certain place where your systems are still keeping the momentum going in your business, you could be going backwards. Okay, it's very important. So this is what happens in your brain. You lose dopamine. Okay, here's why. Your brain releases dopamine in anticipation of a reward. But when the reward never comes because you never show up, you never do what you say you're going to do, your dopamine system recalibrates. It's like, okay, I'm not excited. I'm not motivated anymore. Somebody said that in the group chat, and I was like, let me address this on my Substack. Let me not snap like I normally do. So I was supportive. But we shouldn't be looking for motivation at this stage in the game. And I'm not going to say because you should be disciplined enough. No, that's not what I mean. Motivation is a byproduct of you making the right decisions to trigger the dopamine in your brain. You make better decisions when you have better data. And you get better data by being in motion. See what I'm saying? So if you want to be motivated, do you hear the word? You have to be in motion to stay attached to motivation. If you stop and slow down and constantly just sit down on your and rest for 17 years and all of that, you'll get less excited, less motivated to do the things that you know you need to do, not more. That was a word. I could actually stop right here. That was a word on today. Aha! If you want to feel motivated, motivation comes from the dopamine being released in your brain because it knows if I do this thing, I'm going to get this reward. Okay. If you, in order to have your brain queued up for that, you have to make decisions that keep you in that state of mind. If you want to make better decisions, you need better data. In order to get better data, to see better patterns, so you know what you're doing out here, you're not confused anymore, not overwhelmed, you have to be in motion. So if you want motivation, you have to be in motion. This is neuroscience. This is not kindergarten. Come on, guys, we can do it. Let's encourage ourselves and call your accountability partner. Like, no. What if it ain't nobody but you that believes in you? You gonna stop? What if everybody around you is like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. You gonna quit? It has to come from a deeper place, y'all. We're not in kindergarten. We're not in elementary school. The place that we're going, probably nobody in your family tree has ever been there. Maybe nobody that you know personally has ever been there before. Where you can live on your own terms and you're not subject to the foolishness out here. You're not dependent on the government check they could cut off at any moment when they hit a button. You're not dependent on a job. You're not dependent on anybody to do something. You are self-sufficient. That's why these people running around out here doing crazy stuff, because they don't have to ask anybody anything, because we all live on this capitalistic system and they've got assets. They're going to keep growing in perpetuity in value because it's all rooted in real estate, things in nature, raw materials, rare earth minerals, and us, people. This is where the real value resides, is social capital and natural resources. So as long as their assets are built on that, which it is, on our backs and on our heads, they don't have no problem. So they don't have to ask nobody for no permission. They go out here and do all this crazy stuff. Curtis, I told y'all this man. Did you Google this man? Curtis Yarvis is his name. This man, Yarvin, this man, he's like, we don't need all these humans out here. We don't need them. But, genocide, that seems extreme. So instead, why don't we just give them a little metaverse and let's plug them in. Let's just plug them in and let them play with little stuff and little tokens and little whatever while we go and do what we want to do and run the world. That's what we should do. And I want you to know that all the people that financed all the people that are now running the United States of America, they think that this guy's a genius. They think this is a great idea. What does that sound like? Does this sound like a movie to you? You remember The Matrix? Weren't they plugged into machines? I'm just letting you know that there are people out here who actually think that this is how we need to run the world, and they're moving us to a system where they can do that. That's what all this AI is for. So if you don't want to be controlled by somebody else, the responsibility starts now. You can't wait until they get these external systems going, and then you got to make a choice between, okay, do what I say or you're not going to eat. Because who's going to win in that battle? Only people who have assets. So why are we waiting? We got to take responsibility. We got to stand. We got to rise. It's now. We got to teach our kids how to do this. Because, I'm dependent on, I got a good job. I'm working for this institution. But what's going to happen when the institution goes away? What's going to happen when the university closes down? What's going to happen when our laws get changed and the stuff that we've been doing for generations is illegal now? We have to take responsibility for our own well-being. And that starts with taking responsibility for our decisions and our actions every day. And the easiest way to do that is not to try to talk yourself out of it. It's not, why am I struggling? I know what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. Don't get into an internal battle. Judgment, don't judge yourself. You know, I say judge not, don't judge yourself. I'm not here to judge you and say you need to do this or you need to tighten up. No, we're not judging. We are observing. There's a difference. I'm looking at the pattern. I'm looking at your behavior. I just told you somebody who's made tens of millions of dollars. Okay. Personally mentored by literal actual billionaires. They're not all evil. Okay. Studying the people who have who figured out how to use social media like an ATM machine, making tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. How they move, how they're showing up, what's going on. Went and got the receipts. Neuroscience, quantum physics, history, everything. So it's not, you don't think it's just based on my opinion. And I'm not telling you something I read in a book. There is no book. I got to write the book. These things don't exist. Nobody put this stuff together like this. Nobody programmed us. They programmed us go be employees and they go make them look good and show up when they have a party and a DJ. We're supposed to show up. Meatballs and alcohol so they can get corporate checks and go head on. And I'm sitting here telling you that if you want to change what's going on in your life and in your business, make it your business to talk to 5 humans every single day or 5 days a week, right? Use the Afro method. It's not, well, what do I say? I just told you. Now I'm telling you how to use social media to find more of these humans. If y'all want to get in a social media class, you should just click the link and do that because it's literally like, oh, like this is a skill set. Once you know how to do this, you can move to an island for real and make all the money you want to make. Okay. I'm saying talk to 5 people a day. Use the Afro method. Figure out what they want. Turn around, take what they said they want and what they need, what they're frustrated with, and turn it into a product. Put it on social. Bring more people. Put them in an email list so you can nurture before, during, and after purchase. They can hang out with you, do the thing. And a percentage of those people are going to buy from you. Keep doing that. 5 people a day. You do that for 12 weeks, 1 quarter, you've talked to 300 people. Do that for 6 months, 600 people. Do it for a year, 1,200 people. But it's exponential. It's not linear. So out of those, people that you talk to directly, they're going to go and tell somebody about you. And then they're going to go and tell somebody about you. And then they're going to tell somebody about you. And then those stories come back and that's what you put in your social. And then it compounds. And your social is going to work. Everybody else is scrolling by everybody else's social, but yours is going to make them stop scrolling because it's encoded. I'm literally giving you the codes to put it to your content. So it got a hook. So people want to listen. They want to engage. They're reaching out. They're putting comment this word if you want the free thing. I want the thing. Your email list is exploding. Your followers, it's working. I'm literally telling you this is what you got to do. Get in motion. If you don't, I'm also saying waiting is not neutral. Waiting, stagnation, creates entropy. Entropy is the gradual decline due to a lack of progress and predictability, which is going to lead to destruction and decay. So you can either spiral up or you're spiraling down. And if you're like, man, you know what, I'm not doing this. I know, like, I hear you, dog, but no. Then I implore you to go get a job and or a rich husband/wife. I beg you, I'm serious, because we have about 18 to 24 months before everybody else figures out, like, wait a minute, this is not just a little blip in the thing. This is like, whoa, like, yeah. And we need to take this window of time, go ahead and get you some money, get you some stack, figure out if you're going to move to the compound and somewhere and off the, out the city, or you're going to leave the country, or what you finna do. You're going to hunker down. What are we doing? Get you a plan, get your family together. Y'all get your passports. Everybody just get ready. Because here we go. You got about 18 months. So if you're not willing to do this work, go find you a support system and lock into it. I mean, seriously, I would go just as hard. If you're like, yeah, I'm not doing all this, then okay, let's talk resume building. We got somebody in the doghouse to try to help you get a job. Let's talk consulting. Let's talk, I don't know, remote work. What are people doing? But even this, if you were to say, no, I don't even know, I've been working on the wrong business, I can't even figure this out, You know what I would recommend to you? The greatest opportunity right now to make some money, you still got to go do this work, but you got to learn social media as a skill. And there's going to be some element of AI in there. You probably could make a tool or a product or an agent or something really fast using AI tools that are available, and then go sell that. You need the skill of social media, and go get you a product that's very clearly defined that people need, and go make you some money and get out the way. Like, seriously. Do y'all want to just like forget about it? Don't worry about the passion, whatever you were building. Don't even worry about that. Just what if you could just like, I just need to make some money. Like, I can tell you how to do that, but it's going to require you to show up differently. It's going to require you to have a different set of behaviors than you've had before. So that's what I want to know. I mean, I'm gonna stop here. It's a Saturday, and I got to go to this dinner party thing. But don't allow your neural pathways to decay. You know what I'm saying? Every skill, everything you've ever learned, everything that I'm teaching you guys here, if you listen to me talking, but then you don't go and implement it, that pathway, that neural pathway weakens. So if you're making, now again, if you had a job, they would normalize this, like a sales job that you go and talk to, make 10 outbound calls a day or something like that. Why would you do that for somebody else, but you wouldn't have that level of intensity for yourself? I don't understand. But every day that you don't do that, your brain is pruning, because your brain is designed for efficiency. It's like, okay, we don't need that information anymore. You don't need that anymore. And so now when you try to come back and do it after this big delay, you have to rebuild from scratch. It's a stopping and a starting. There's no momentum. There's no flow there. Also, every day that you wait, you're training your identity that this is who you are. A person who waits, who plans, who sits out, not quite ready yet. I'm not quite ready to start my community. I know I need to do it. I know I need a group of people who are checking for what I got going on, but I'm just not ready to put myself out there like that just yet. So what you're doing is you're reinforcing the identity of somebody who's not ready. Your job, the brain has one job. It is to keep you consistent with your primary identity. What you do most frequently becomes your frequency. If that's how you keep showing up, you're creating more of that. You're rewiring yourself into somebody who can't take massive action. This is the danger zone, y'all. So we don't have time. We don't have time. We got to start moving at the speed of money. So I'm going to get to a part 2 on this tomorrow. But I want to pause. Any questions, comments, concerns, challenges, feedback, perspectives, and personal story time? What do we have? Go for it, Tracy.
Happy birthday to your godmommy.
Thanks.
Thank you for everyone that took a hand in raising you, doll. I'm going to go out and speak to some humans once I get off this live, because I have been procrastinating on it. I've been on social, yet my social is a little messy. It's not, I'm just putting things on, but I'm not putting things everywhere. One question I did want to ask is, what are your thoughts on Restream now that you've been using it for the last couple of months? How do you feel about it now to restream your work?
I like Restream better than, I've used them all. Restream better than StreamYard, primarily because, at least right now, Restream is the only one that allows me to do, or has the function of doing live stream or live selling. And most people were like, well, what do you mean? It's the only feature that I needed TikTok for, and I can't use TikTok anymore. And now I can do it. So basically, on the screen, like when I start doing health and wellness content and stuff like that, I can like have, Moonjug, and just they could click the screen while they're watching, not have to leave the stream and just buy stuff. Or like my book, when the book comes out and I start doing book club stuff, they could literally just click and buy while they're sitting there watching the stream. So it brings the selling off of, instead of sending you to another
platform.
Yeah. And so that combined with, I just like the interface a little bit better. I mean, it's just a personal preference. But
no, that's perfect. I just want to make sure you're still down, because I know you're putting your feet in everything, and you're seeing what works, and I just want to know what still feels good to you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my last question for today, before you head out to your party, is what do you think is okay as an entrepreneur for us to start investing in, as far as like these apps? Like, I was investing in Canva. I realized that was a waste of money, because there's so many free things on Canva. School, you said, is a good investment for 9. I definitely see you're investing in what's that thing called is Zoom, and I think that's a good investment because Zoom is a place that I need more than a half hour to definitely look professional and to do other things like keep my videos and so forth. Are you investing in Restream? What do you think that we should invest in, and what do you think we should use free, like Claude? And I guess I'm trying to understand that so I'm more productive as I go hard on the paint.
Oh, these are good questions. Maybe I could try to put something together. There's all these tools out here. I think um, your GPT of choice, I would invest in the paid version of. I like Bougie GPT myself, but I do pay for that. But the free one is so good. Like it's just a time limit thing. Like you'll do a lot of work and then it'll pause you for 5 hours or whatever. I don't have 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, I pay for the paid, but also because it has co-work and some other cool stuff that you could do. And ChatGPT apparently has a lot of stuff that's cool on the paid side, but I don't use ChatGPT. Although I am now because I got to get this custom GPT that I just made up and running. And I can do it with the AI thing, the back end, but I'd rather do it that way. So anyway, pay for your GPT of choice. Um, Most businesses are going to need some kind of email autoresponder, which is not the same like Substack. People are trying to use that to replace a autoresponder, and it's not. It doesn't. So you probably need one of those. I use Beehive. You can use Kit. Used to be called ConvertKit. I tried them all, but that's a separate topic. I do have actually a module on this inside the social media mastery, just understanding like how to use these tools and where to plug in. But to answer your question, definitely a place to archive your work where people can kind of go and learn and on demand at their own pace. Now you can do that like on a Patreon, and that's free, right? You don't have to pay for Patreon, but then whenever you make sale, they take 10%. So it's like, the trade-offs are there. Same thing with Substack. You don't have to pay for Substack, but then when you make sale on there, they take 10%. So technically you could do all of this without paying anything. Like the other day I told you guys I made a whole website in one night. The AI was built into the page that I was using, and the template came right there, and then dot, 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 dot. In about an hour and a half while I was cooking dinner, I made a landing page. And it's free. It didn't cost me anything. And of course they have upgraded features and stuff. So technically you could do all of this for free. So if cost is a concern, there's a free way to do everything.
Okay, so Zoom, are you cool with us investing in Zoom?
Zoom, I do because I talk a lot, and I have to have my time, and also, yeah, because the cloud storage thing. Like if I'm on my phone, I'm in the car, but I'm on a Zoom, I need to still be able to record the call. So the paid version allows me to do that, but I don't pay for like the webinar part yet or anything like that.
Okay, that sounds.
I don't pay for Restream either. You could do.
Oh, you don't.
You could use two. You could do 2 platforms for free on Restream.
Is that enough for you? Is 2 platforms enough?
Well, the way that I'm about to do it, I mean, I'm going to pay for it. I have paid for it in the past. I'm going to turn it back on, but I did that specifically to see if it would fit my needs without paying, because I like to be able to tell people what they could do for free. But the way I'm about to jerry rig it, I'm about to bring in my Zoom, my Substack, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, and my YouTube every day when I go live. So I need to pay to do that. But otherwise, no, just pick the 2 that you want to go live on and just use the free one and you'll be good.
And then lastly is not the TikTok. You are adamant that you are not going to be on TikTok, and you're kind of like, I don't want to say lobbying, but you're saying, hey, warning, TikTok is
using your data. TikTok is surveilling your medical data, your location, your health, everything, your financial records, everything, as of this last terms of service update. That's what's happening.
And the other ones will not catch up and do that, or the other ones will not have access because this is a Chinese company.
They're headed that way. No, because see, TikTok was sold to the U.S. owners. That's the reason why I haven't released the article yet, because I'm coming with all kinds of receipts. so that nobody can don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, when Donald Trump got up there, stood on stage and said, "We're releasing $500 billion to make America the AI superpower of the world," it was three men standing next to him. Two of them, one of them invested in my company, and the other two tried. And one of those is Larry Ellison. He's the one who bought TikTok. American. They wanted it to be owned by an American. But the new terms of service, it basically has made it a tool of the surveillance state. Like literally, like I'm not exaggerating. So that's fine. There's also a lot of censorship and things going on. So if you go on YouTube and Google it, like you'll see a lot of people have jumped off TikTok because of that. A lot of creators and stuff. Because there's just certain words you can't say, like the files, the name of the files, you literally can't at that time. You couldn't type it. They were like banning people's content. Like if you're in America versus if you're in UK, you're getting a totally different experience. It's like it's all kind of state sponsored surveillance, censorship, weird stuff going on TikTok. So to answer your second part of your question, other platforms will probably head in that direction, which is why I keep saying we need to hurry up. This is all I'm saying. We just need to get online, do what we do, get your buddy, and go head on. Get the people's email list so you could catch up with them and talk to them if something happens to your platform of choice, and keep it pushing. Substack is probably the furthest removed from some of this, but not for real. Because the owners are, they were considered outsiders, but they're not anymore. So it's all a matter of time.
Okay. Thank you, Dom. I appreciate that. Lots of info.
Absolutely. It's a lot. It's too much, honestly, but that's what I'm saying. We have to take responsibility for ourselves in ways that we kind of got lulled into the sense of security because America, institutions, and football. We're like, it's fine. Like everything's fine. Like somebody else is paying attention to that. And I guess I got indoctrinated into the way I talk. It sounds radical, but like that's why I started Aquagenuity, because I'm sitting here looking at the data. Like it was my job every day to look at the data. And I'm like, why is there so much arsenic in the water? Like, is anybody going to say anything about this? Like, what is going on here? And everybody's like, oh, the EPA is taking care of that. I'm like, no, they're not. They're really not. Like, so we just kind of grew up in a world where we just assume that somebody's, handling these things. And it turns out that they're not. And so that's just going to increase, basically. Less institutional support, less what the government used to do. They're not going to be doing it for us anymore. Just all the systems and things that we would depend on so that we didn't have to be kind of this greatest, highest version of ourselves are going away.
And yeah. It's almost like with the life insurance, and we're spending more time preparing for our death, that our life is actually not of value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So I am here to hopefully be a safe space again, because I'm not here to judge anybody. I, of all people, I know what it feels like. Life doesn't happen and you just, oh my God, I can't even get off the ground. Like, what are we doing? I just want to curl up in a corner in my room and that's it. But we have to find it. We got to find it because nobody's coming to save us, you guys. Like, it's just not going to happen. So the more I can give you clarity about what to focus on. So I'm really been trying to turn this into I've been working on, and I haven't landed on it yet, but turning all of this into like almost like a video game, a board game or card game or some kind of something. So it's very clear, because everything that I'm saying applies to everybody, but you apply it differently based on where you are. So if you're still looking for clarity, it's like in yourself, you don't know exactly kind of where you land. You still need your 5-star pitch. You're not really sure, like, okay. And you keep kind of coming to it and going back off of it and coming back to it, and you kind of feel vague. Okay, there's one set of activities that you need to be focused on. Then if it's like, nope, I got my clarity, I know exactly my messaging, I know what I'm doing, I got my products, and and now you just really need to get into a point of scale, or basically you need to achieve some micro fame in your industry. Like, you need to be nationally known, which is easier now than ever before because of social media. But everybody in your space, everybody who pays attention to your space needs to know who you are. People in my group, this is what I'm wanting to normalize for you. Okay. If they're thinking whatever it is that you do, your name should be somewhere in that conversation. It should be 40 to 60% of the people who pay a lot of attention to that space should know who you are. This is the job. Your name should be coming up some kind of way because you have a very popular event that you do every year, because you wrote a book that did very well, because you have a body of work that people are constantly checking for you on YouTube, or you're always speaking at all the conferences, or you made it your business to meet and to know every single person who's in charge of programming in line with your space or whatever. Like, your name should be coming up in rooms where your industry, your area of expertise is being discussed. So there's a whole different set of skills, which includes the social media mastery, and the public speaking is a part of that, because you have to be outside. And now you can do this virtually. Again, my coach in public speaking, I was on a hammock raising $2 million. She's on a hammock 2 days a week. She's doing keynotes, but from Zoom, and getting paid $25,000 a speech. She's making about $50,000 a week during the pandemic from the house. Because corporations still had a budget. They still had to do, motivational, whatever the reasons why they have public speakers and team development and all this kind of stuff. She was getting her bag. And she's well known in her space. You never heard of this woman. She's richer than probably everybody you know, too. And you know what I'm saying? The people in her space know who she is. And we have to develop the same skills to be able to tell our story on social media and really dominate and make a mark in the space, not just kind of going along to get along, just a little posting here and the posting there. No. You can't have a multi-million-dollar company and don't nobody know who you are. Because every brand that you want to partner with, every retailer you want to partner with, every school, university you want to partner with, every corporation that you want to partner with, every platform that you want to be on, first thing they're going to do is look and see who else is talking about you. All financial capital is social capital. That's why we don't skip steps on the roadmap. Step 7 is where we go and get partnerships and do some PR or whatever. I've never done PR in my life yet still. But that comes after that, because why? They're going to be looking at all the narrative and all the people who you've already reached along the journey. And that's what's going to give them the confidence, because it's somebody's job on the line. When they make a decision to do a partnership, a strategic partnership with you, a corporation or whatever, or they sign a contract with you, or yes, we're going to use your technology, or we're going to take your food or your product or your hair product or your shea butter or whatever, they're putting their whole reputation of that brand on you. So they need some social proof that this is a safe investment to make. This is a safe partnership when they start shouting you out and all that kind of stuff. So it matters that we get in here and do this work and talk to people, because you're building the foundation for this multi-million-dollar company that you said you wanted. Go ahead, Tracy.
Damn, you done said a mouthful. I never thought about people, companies, corporations having a budget for public speakers, or what do you call those? Guest speakers, or anyways, that's fascinating, because just the same way they have a budget for wellness, that like, and this is the reason I get certain contracts, is because there is a budget already there that they just have not used, because nobody came to the door and said, hey, we'll bring yoga to Griffin. Really? So it's like, it's the same thing for the public speaking. And I want to do public speaking too. So that's why when you said that, I never thought about that, because I know so many people that do public speaking, and they're great people, but they're people I know. I'm like, damn, how the hell they went to Paris on a damn public speaking gig? I'm like, well, they must just be really good, because she does have it like that. But you're right, there's a budget. That makes it more accessible. I like that.
Mm-hmm. There's a budget. They're known in their industry, or known by the people who are booking, and they have a structure to how they're showing up on those stages, which is what I'm teaching in the social media mastery. Like, they're not just getting up there talking about what they want to talk about. There's a very clear formula. And by the time you get off the stage, you will have 4 more people booking you every time.
I love that.
It's just a whole formula to it. Yep.
And the simplicity of how you just described earlier, about a half hour ago, you said the word trust. Trust is just means when you say you're going to show up, this is what trust is. I'm like, oh, I guess that's all it is. People know you're going to be somewhere. And that's what's been going on with these 2 o'clocks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've been asking you about the school app, because it was only until you got the school app that this monkey mind of mine, where's the, is it on here? Is it on, someone send me the link. And then once you got on school, now I just go to the school app for whatever you do, and I know I'll find you. And it just is such a breath of fresh air for me. So yeah.
Yeah, man. So you guys, on today, I mean, I hope that I gave something practical. I didn't mean to preach a sermon, but it's very important that we stop waiting. Um and everybody's resting. Okay. A lot of the people still talking about they resting after the election and stuff. And I'm like, well, we, in addition to the resting, we need to be rising. How about that? Because if we don't get it together and kind of make some moves for ourselves and for the people that we're connected to in our community, it's not looking good, y'all. So with that being said, what you got?
Oh, it's back to the food things you always say. So, because a dough, it's resting when you put it, but it's also rising at the same time.
Come on, resting and rising. Yes,
So
we can't just be resting. We gotta be rising for sure, for sure. So, all hearts and minds clear, you guys. I love it here. Thank you for being here. So what do? We drink our water. We mind our tea and grits, and we build our business. Okay, this is just a mirror. Greatest, highest version of yourself. If you see something you don't like, Michael Jackson done told us what we do. Make that change. So let's do it. Till the next one. I gotta go. We out.